Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Tuesday morning to you all. I hope you guys are waking up and feeling awesome out there this morning and having a wonderful start to your day and a great week out there so far. Today's the big day. Of course, it's occurring right now for certain areas as far as this winter storm. We have a winter weather falling out there across areas that hardly ever see it. In fact, we've had upgrades from winter storm warnings to blizzard warnings. Yeah, a blizzard in areas of Louisiana and southeast Texas. So we'll speak on that here in a second. But of course, like we always do on these videos, we like to stay ahead of the storm. So not going to speak a whole lot on, places where there's winter weather already happening. It's already unfolding, like Louisiana, Texas. This is a now thing. We're really going to focus in on Alabama, Georgia, especially the Carolinas and northern Florida, all the way up to southeast VA. We're just going to stay ahead of this storm and just give you all the latest information that we have. We've continued to have ticks north and west with model guidance, which means that we're going to get more snow further inland, basically. So we're going to go over all this. Just a quick reminder, I will not have a video tonight. It'll be a time where, me and my family just kind of enjoys the moment. I live here in central South Carolina, and once upon a time over the weekend, we thought we lost the storm, and it has came back to us. So I am very excited about the hours to come. Very exhausted, been sick, so continue to ask for prayers for me and my family. My oldest girl has the flu now. My youngest just got over it, and I'm pretty sure I had it also. It's just ran through the entire family. Hopefully my wife does not get it. Our neighbors have had it. It's just been rough. It's been a rough last couple of days, and just with keeping up with this. But, we're here to have fun today, see if a lot of people can get a lot of snow that never see it. So if you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. And if anybody else has anything that we can pray for you about, please put it in the comments below. It gives us an opportunity to pray over it. And it's a way to glorify God, and God is good. He certainly is. So let's get rocking and rolling this morning. So this is the radar. And this is WeatherTap. It's a site that I have a subscription to, but it's a pretty cool site. We got the radar up. This is where we have actual reports from just the public, storm chasers, whatever it may be. Now I will tell you on Radar Scope, it's a little bit different. We're having a report of some snow right here, I would say south and west of Talladega, and someone has just reported snow, which is interesting to me. Just northeast of Atlanta. A lot of this is not hitting the ground. This is what we call virga. Too much dry air. It's snowing way up above our heads in these areas, but it's trying to saturate the atmosphere. It moistens it up enough at a certain point, and then snow is able to fall throughout the entire column of the atmosphere. So that's what's going on right now, but apparently someone was reporting snow just northeast of Atlanta. Not sure if that's true or not. Some people make false reports, but who knows? But this is the radar right now. I mean, this is your classic precursor look for Georgia and the Carolinas for a winter storm that is on the way. You like this look, Climo speaking, and sure enough, we have one on the way. Now, watches, warnings, and advisories, and just a quick reminder, I still am under the weather a little bit, so if you notice, if I sneeze in the video, if you notice me hiccup some words here and there, that's just because my nose is stopped up and just not 100%, but, we're working our way through this. So, I know we have some overlapping of some colors here. The one of the things that's changed back west is we now have blizzard warnings. Folks, this is unreal. This is the Gulf right here. All right, I mean, what's crazy enough is we have winter storm warnings up, but blizzard warnings in Beaumont, Lake Charles, Lafayette, blizzard warnings, first ever. I mean, I don't think anybody had to guess that. It's obvious. The first ever blizzard warning issued in this area. I'm blown away. And this is happening right now, so definitely would love reports. Send me messages on Facebook. I might not be able to get to them immediately, but I would love to hear what's going on. And then, of course, we continue to have all these winter storm warnings up for northern Florida. And just like we thought, Jacksonville has now been upgraded to a winter storm warning. Gainesville, winter storm warning. And then we head on up. We now have winter storm warnings all the way up to just south of Atlanta, but Macon winter storm warnings. Winter storm warnings up for Augusta, Georgia now. We finally had some upgrades. We have winter weather advisories for the Midlands. Just south of Columbia, though, it's winter storm warnings. Now, I will tell you, this area right here, I wish I had my little Epic Pen up so I could draw. But this area right here could get upgraded from a winter weather advisory to a winter storm warning here in the coming hours. I would watch for that. They took forever to just issue a winter weather advisory. But I mean, folks, we got winter weather advisories all the way up to Charlotte, and I bet you we're going to get a few of them up even east of Raleigh. Raleigh does have winter weather advisories now. Fayetteville, winter storm warnings up from Savannah all the way through Charleston, Myrtle Beach, all of the Outer Banks, eastern North Carolina. And winter weather advisories extend all the way up into Virginia Beach, Norfolk, and I mean even the southern sections of Maryland. So unreal stuff, guys, but here we are. Now, as we continue to move forward here, we're going to go from the deep south, which is the states you see on your screen here, and then to the southeast, which is, the Carolinas, the rest of Georgia and Florida and Virginia. So let's look at the HRRR model. I think that it's recovered well. We were kind of taking some shots at it last night. Me and Gerald went live, but I think it's doing well when you compare it up to the other model guidance, which is also pretty aggressive as far as when you compare it to real-time observations. So here it is, snow. It's snowing in Louisiana. I mean, it's snowing in areas of Mississippi now, and it's starting to get into Alabama. But we continue to move forward here. Timestamp is right here. So this is getting in the 9 a.m. Central Time. This is 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And here comes the snow. By the time we're into midday, early afternoon, it's snowing like crazy in southern Mississippi, southern Alabama. It shows this sharp gradient of snow. It begins to tilt the southwest and northeast. I mean, up from Montgomery to Atlanta. It's starting to pour snow. I mean, it already has been at this point for a few hours in Mobile. I think you've already reported some winter weather already this morning. But it begins to take over the western tip of the panhandle of Florida. You continue to keep this going. And I'm telling you, someone is going to be on the dry side of this, and this a winter weather fan is going to be quite upset. Hopefully this is a little bit further north than what it's showing, but that is a mean cutoff of snow. But when you get into this band, guys, I mean, a lot of what we call, you'll get a push of warm air just aloft, and you might think, well, warm air is bad. Well, in certain cases it is. In this case, it would actually help saturate the column and will allow for pretty heavy snowfall rates in Mobile. I mean, like I said, the western panhandle of Florida, all the communities there. I mean, even getting into southwest Georgia, it's snowing like crazy this afternoon. We get into this evening, it's 5, 6 o'clock. We're going all the way into about 7, 8 o'clock, and then we take it all the way to about 10 to 11 o'clock tonight. And I mean, you're switching from that wintry mix in like Tallahassee to like heavy snow at this point. Now, we only have 18 hours out on the HRRR model because it is a short-range model that only goes 18 hours out. But if we continue to move into Georgia and the rest of the Carolinas, and this does not include my friends here in Florida. So let's try to do this really quick. Let's do this. And then we'll include the rest of North Carolina and Georgia. So here's the HRRR model coming in. And we actually are now getting the 11Z. So we need to switch it back to the 10Z. And here it comes. There's that finger of snow right here. And this is already showing up on radar. It's just not hitting the ground for most people. But I mean, this is 1 to 2 o'clock. The thing that we notice with these systems a lot is they tend to be ahead of schedule. So this would bring snow to the South Carolina, Georgia line about early afternoon, maybe around lunchtime. For example, in the Greenville-Spartanburg area, the HRRR model says it's going to be snowing. Atlanta, it's snowing across central Georgia. It takes a while for southeast Georgia to kind of fill in here. But, I mean, by the time we get into 3 or 4 o'clock, it says it's snowing in Columbia up to Charlotte, down to Orangeburg. We start to get winter weather down to low country of South Carolina. This is going to be heavy snow. Who's ever north of the mixing line right here, like in this area right here? I've said it for a couple days now. Southwest Georgia, watch out for someone to get about a half a foot of snow. I think it's possible. But you keep going here. And, I mean, look how far back northwest this shield of snow is now stretching. It is coming down. It is snowing heavily in the low country of South Carolina. Could deal with some mixing issues, but once you get up the Carolina coastline, the less mixing issues you deal. Tallahassee, you deal with that wintry mix of ice, sleet, maybe just freezing rain, and then you switch to heavy snow for maybe a few to several hours at the back end of this. This is 6, 7, 8 o'clock. It's still snowing, up in Macon, Columbia, and then you can see that back edge right here. And, this is, 10, 11 o'clock. It's still pouring snow. And I mean, this is as far out as we can go, and I can switch it to the 06Z here. And it's not a whole lot different. We're still dealing with those mixing issues around Jacksonville and northern Florida, which was expected, but you begin to switch to this heavy burst of snow for the last few hours as we start to get to midnight, like in Savannah, certainly all the way up the Carolina coastline, it's snow. And then check it out. You might switch to some heavy snow right at the end of this in Jacksonville into the wee hours of the morning tomorrow morning. Like this is 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. You switch to some heavy snow right at the end, and then it's done. So we'll do the same thing up for, let's go up into the rest of the Carolinas into Virginia, and we'll go through this entire thing again. And once again, here comes the snow. Bang. I mean, it is snowing from Charlotte up to Raleigh. This is like 5 or 6 o'clock. The cool thing about this is, and I'm excited about this, is this snow is going to start before the sun sets. Sometimes I go back and forth whether I like a nighttime snow or a daytime snow. But for the start of an event, in my opinion, when it starts during the day, that's when it's the best to me, and then kind of goes into the night. But you stop it here. This is around dinner time tonight for the Carolinas, Virginia, Georgia. And got a good old quick hitting snowstorm moving in for a lot of people. You know, we take it to about 7, 8, 9 o'clock. This is some pretty heavy snow all the way back to Columbia, Fayetteville, southeast VA. You're getting in some moderate snow, snowing heavily in eastern North Carolina, Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, and this lasts for several hours. I mean, this is 10, 11 o'clock, midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. That band is slow moving, and finally it heads on out. So what about snow totals? So this is the latest HRRR model between now and just the next 18 hours. I mean, it's still snowing, and this is some of the higher amounts. I mean, it's going for, like, once you get into this purple area, that's over a half a foot of snow for areas of the Panhandle, like up against the Gulf coastline. Yeah, just crazy, crazy stuff. And same thing for here in the Carolinas and the rest of Virginia. And this is only through, it's still snowing. I mean, it's still snowing for the eastern areas. This is only through 11 p.m. Columbia's already almost got 2 inches of snow. But I mean, look south of Columbia off this, and this could be more. I could see more than this snow, more snow than this falling right up here too. You know, Atlanta's almost got an inch of snow at this point. You know, we kind of go back and look at the 06Z though, and see what it shows, and man, just that's crazy. I mean, I know I keep saying that over and over again, but whoever gets into that heavy footprint of snow is going to get jackpotted. I mean, and I'm not going to sit here and say that the HRRR model's, you know, off its rocks here. I think that it's very possible some of these totals can be achieved. I mean, it's going for a swath and 6 to 8 inches of snow in the southern Midlands of South Carolina, the Low Country. I think that's possible. I don't think it's likely, but I think it's possible. But there's a sharp cutoff there, and you know, I can sit here and go through many runs here, and I'm actually just going to take a zoomed out look, so we're just not. And I know this is very zoomed out. It's kind of hard to see what's going on here, but look at northern Florida. If you turn around, you look at the NAM. I mean, it has the footprint of snow way north. It brings 2.5 inches of snow into Charlotte. Brings the 3 to 4 inches of snow into Columbia. Augusta brings a couple inches of snow into Atlanta. Several inches of snow into southwest Georgia, southern Alabama. Not as much, though, say, for northern Florida. It likes the idea of a warm nose, but it hits the PD of South Carolina, eastern North Carolina hard. If you look, say, at the latest European model run, and it's the Euro. I would say the Euro and the GFS is kind of met here, but still calling. I mean, now for up to almost 3 inches of snow in Columbia, Augusta 3 to 4. There's that area in Georgia. I mean, you can kind of see what's going on here, right? I mean, and then you look at the GFS. I mean, we just continue to have some pretty wild stuff here, you know, and I know I keep saying that over and over again. It's probably because I'm just a little groggy here, but it's wild, the trends that we've had. You know, it maybe a little bit. The only area where I could see where it's stopped the trend is maybe the Euro and the Euro Ensemble, and it's kind of just not necessarily backed up or backed off, but it's kind of quit ticking north. So at this point, I can analyze these models until the cows come home, guys. But you know, it's kind of a now thing. But I will tell you what your local offices are showing. This is the latest out of Mobile, which really isn't the latest. This is from yesterday afternoon. But going forward, You know, a few inches of snow, 2 to 4 in the yellow area, Gulf Shores, Mobile, Pensacola, but you could definitely get more snow than this. Um, Still have not bumped up any totals up the like Birmingham, only going for a few tenths of an inch of snow south of the I-20 corridor. There hasn't been many changes in this area. So for now, they don't think that it's going to be much of an event in central and north central Alabama. Now, this is where they've really increased it. Tallahassee going for 2.5 inches of snow now. Panama City, same thing. You get up into southwest Georgia, southeast Alabama, anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of snow is possible in these areas. And some ice is possible too. In fact, a lot might end up happening. But it doesn't look like it's alarming, those alarming ice totals anymore. A tenth to 2 tenths of an inch of ice, I mean, mixed with a couple inches of snow is a huge deal for Florida. Huge. I mean, that's like equivalent to like 12 inches of snow for like, I mean, areas further north. So that's a big deal for folks down in Florida and southern Georgia. Now, check it out, Jacksonville. They're going for 4 tenths of an inch of snow now in Jacksonville. Maybe 3 tenths of an inch in Gainesville. I mean, that's enough to put a nice glaze, a nice white glaze on the ground. But look at southeast Georgia. They've increased snowfall here to a couple to a few inches. So, yeah, I mean, and then the ice totals. They finally upgrade these graphics. And look at this area right here in extreme southeast Georgia, northeast Florida. In this red area, that's where they're calling for over a 1/4 inch of freezing rain. You don't want to see this. Freezing rain is dangerous, it's depressing, and you hate it. But you're going to have to probably fight through this first before you might get a burst of snow right in the end. So this is definitely some ice totals we need to be aware of in this area. National Weather Service out of Atlanta, they have not changed anything yet. I keep doing that because I'm seeing if we got an update. But this was updated around 3:30 a.m. Going for a few tenths of an inch of snow up to the I-85 to the 20 corridor. Once you get towards Augusta, that's when you start to get into more accumulating snow. But Macon now going for 2 inches. They've increased snowfall in central to south central Georgia for sure. So the low country of South Carolina, I think they're really being conservative here. Now, I do think they're accounting for some mixing issues. But listen, I mean, they're only going for a couple inches of snow. But I'm telling you, I think more than this could happen. But I mean, an inch and a half of snow in Charleston would be a huge deal. Your most snow since 2018. But like I said, I think this area could overachieve significantly. And what's baffling to me is they're not even going for much freezing rain. So if to me, now you could get a lot of sleet in this area. You can get a lot of sleet in this area. But I think more snow can fall. And the same thing with Columbia. I'm going for an inch of snow now in Columbia. That's where I live. Augusta, maybe 1 inch to 2 inches. Barnwell, 2 inches. Orangeburg, pretty much 2 inches. A little bit less once you get north for obvious reasons. But I made a map for South Carolina, actually, and I'm going to show it to you here in a second. And I'm definitely a little bit more aggressive, and I might be wrong. But Greenville-Spartanburg, even calling for a few tenths of an inch of snow from Greenwood through Rock Hill to Charlotte, Chester. So, and then the National Weather Service out of Wilmington. Wilmington now going for 2 to 3 inches of snow. Myrtle Beach around 2 inches. Florence around 1 inch. But I'm telling you guys, I really think these areas will overachieve. And just to kind of round off South Carolina for my folks here locally, because I live in South Carolina, so of course I'm a little biased towards it. I made this map this morning, and it might be a little bit aggressive. Hopefully you can see it well. But I like 2 to 3 inches of snow through the Midlands, right through the heart of the state, 1.5 to 2.5 inches, maybe to the north. And this is if I'm going to bust anywhere, it's probably going to be up here. I'm being a little aggressive in the northern Midlands, where the National Weather Service is only calling for a few tenths of an inch of snow, maybe as much as 1 inch. I'm going for about 1.5 to 2.5 inches. And then even the far northwest portion of the state, maybe as much as 1/2 inch to 1 inch. I could be totally wrong, but of course I'm going to shoot my shot here. But then you get into eastern North Carolina. This will be an all-out winter storm. Several inches of snow expected. The Outer Banks will get accumulating snow. Jacksonville, 3 to 4. So not expecting much ice in this area. Raleigh going for almost 1 inch. Once you get west, a few tenths of an inch of snow. Once you get east, maybe 1 inch or 2. So that's not correct. And then the National Weather Service out of southeast VA. Richmond, maybe a couple tenths of an inch of snow, but once you get into Elizabeth City, 3 to 4 inches. Norfolk now going for 2 inches of snow. So that's all I got, guys. I know it's a shorter video, but I'm out of gas. I'll be honest. I'm crashing. I'm tired. That's not me wanting you guys to feel sorry for me. But I can tell you, after this event ends, I'm already looking forward to rest. Looking forward to the snow tonight. This is what you look forward to the most. But with a sick family, unfortunately, and dealing with all that, it stinks because we could have an overachiever here in Columbia, and my girls might be too sick to go out in it. In fact, I know one of them will be. So it is unfortunate, but that's just the way it works. So I just want to thank y'all for praying for snow for my area, praying for my girls. More importantly, health is bigger than snow. It looks like God certainly has answered the prayers to the snow. Once upon a time, Saturday and Sunday, it was looking hopeless. It didn't look like that it was going to snow at all in my house. You guys know how much it means to me, as corny as it sounds, and looks like it's going to deliver. Let's hope it actually does. Of course, it hasn't yet, but man, if we even get an inch of snow, I'll be head over heels for sure. So God bless all y'all. Have a wonderful day. More importantly, stay safe and enjoy this historic snowstorm. I hope you guys make a lot of memories and have a lot of fun. God bless.